Imagine standing on an oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, hundreds of miles from shore. Or picture yourself managing a mining operation deep in the Canadian Rockies, where the nearest cell tower is days away. Perhaps you're overseeing agricultural operations across the vast plains of Mexico, where traditional internet infrastructure simply doesn't exist. For decades, these scenarios meant one thing: isolation from the digital world. But today, a constellation of satellites orbiting 340 miles above Earth is rewriting that story. This is the Starlink revolution, and it's transforming how North America connects to the world. Yet, as revolutionary as Starlink's technology is, the real magic happens on the ground, through a network of authorized resellers who transform satellite signals into complete business solutions. These aren't just middlemen selling internet access. They're partners who understand that a construction crew in Alaska has different needs than a retail chain in Texas, that a fishing vessel off the coast of Mexico faces unique challenges compared to a government office in Toronto. This is their story, and perhaps it will become yours too. North America spans nearly 10 million square miles. Within this vast territory live over 580 million people, yet millions still lack reliable high-speed internet. Traditional infrastructure like fiber optic cables, cell towers, and DSL lines works brilliantly in cities and suburbs. But venture beyond these islands of connectivity, and you enter a different world. The oil worker on a rig platform, the emergency responder racing to a disaster zone, the cruise ship captain navigating coastal waters, the banker opening a branch in a remote community, the farmer monitoring crop sensors across thousands of acres. Each faces the same challenge: staying connected when traditional solutions fail. This is where Starlink enters the narrative. But here's the crucial twist in our story. While Starlink provides the technology, it's the authorized resellers who make it work for real people facing real challenges. The birth of the reseller network. Picture Sarah, a network engineer for a national retail chain with 500 stores across America. When pandemic lockdowns hit, she faced an impossible challenge. 43 stores in rural areas lost internet connectivity as local ISPs struggled. Customers couldn't use credit cards. Inventory systems went dark. Her company was bleeding money by the hour. Traditional solutions would take months, running fiber to rural locations, negotiating with local providers, managing dozens of contracts. Sarah needed speed, reliability, and someone who understood enterprise deployment at scale. This is where companies like CommandLink enter our story. CommandLink, the enterprise architects. Based in Seattle, CommandLink didn't just sell Sarah satellite internet. They architected a solution. Their proprietary ITSM platform monitored every terminal in real time. When store number 342 in rural Wyoming experienced degraded performance, CommandLink's Tier 3 engineers detected it before the store manager noticed. They bonded Starlink with existing 5G connections, creating failover systems that guaranteed connectivity even if one system failed. Within 3 weeks, all 43 stores were online. But CommandLink's value extended beyond the crisis. They integrated everything into Sarah's existing SD-WAN, prioritized traffic so point-of-sale systems got bandwidth first, and provided 24/7 support. Sarah's company didn't just survive. They thrived, opening 15 more rural locations knowing connectivity was no longer a barrier. Industries served: multi-location retail, energy operations, manufacturing, banking, restaurants, healthcare, construction. Key capabilities: proprietary monitoring platforms, Tier 3 engineering support, bandwidth bonding, SD-WAN integration, cybersecurity, 5G and LTE integration, AI and ML analytics. Comcast Business, the enterprise giant. Now shift to Marcus, CTO of a regional hospital network. His challenge wasn't just internet speed. It was life and death. Telemedicine consultations, real-time medical imaging, electronic health records all required bulletproof connectivity. But 3 of his facilities served remote communities where even Comcast's extensive fiber network couldn't reach economically. Comcast Business brought something unique to the table: the ability to blend their fiber infrastructure with Starlink's satellite coverage, creating a unified network. In urban facilities, traffic ran through high-capacity fiber. In remote locations, Starlink provided the link, but Comcast's cybersecurity suite, unified communications platform, and enterprise-grade support infrastructure wrapped around everything. The result? A hospital network where a surgeon in Philadelphia could guide a rural physician through a complex procedure via high-definition video, where patient records moved seamlessly between facilities, where connectivity was simply never a concern. Industries served: retail, restaurants, financial services, manufacturing, hospitality. Key capabilities: hybrid fiber satellite solutions, cybersecurity services, SD-WAN, unified communications, global networking. Pacific Dataport, masters of the frontier. Let's travel north to Alaska, where our story takes on a different character. Here, Jack manages logistics for an Arctic research station. Winter temperatures drop to -50. The sun disappears for months. The nearest road is 200 miles away. Yet Jack's team needs to transmit terabytes of climate data daily, video conference with universities worldwide, and maintain contact with emergency services. Pacific Dataport, based in Anchorage, specializes in exactly these scenarios. They understand permafrost installation requirements, how Arctic temperatures affect equipment, and the logistics of servicing remote sites accessible only by plane or snowmobile. Their technicians have installed Starlink terminals on ice roads, in research stations, and on fishing vessels navigating the Bering Sea. When Jack's original terminal failed during a particularly brutal storm, Pacific Dataport had a replacement on a bush plane within hours. Their 24/7 support team included engineers who'd personally worked in Arctic conditions and understood that just restart the router isn't helpful advice when it's mounted to a building 200 miles from the nearest human. Industries served: remote operations, oil and gas, public connectivity, government services. Key capabilities: extreme environment installations, custom billing, 24/7 Alaska-focused support, logistics for remote deployments. Verizon, the global integrator. Finally, meet Jennifer, who manages emergency response communications for a federal agency. Her teams deploy to hurricanes, wildfires, floods, anywhere disaster strikes. They need connectivity that can be set up in hours, works anywhere, and integrates with existing government communication systems. Failure isn't an inconvenience. Costs lives. Verizon brought their global infrastructure to bear. They pre-configured Starlink terminals that integrated with government security protocols. They created mobile command centers with satellite connectivity bonded to cellular networks. They provided static IP addresses that allowed seamless VPN connections to secure government networks. And critically, they offered consolidated billing and support through systems Jennifer's agency already used. When hurricane season hit, Jennifer's teams deployed to 6 states simultaneously. Every site came online within 2 hours of arrival. Real-time video streamed to coordination centers. First responders maintained contact with hospitals. Damage assessments uploaded continuously. Verizon's Network Operations Center monitored everything, rerouting traffic through different paths when storms threatened any single connection. Industries served: agriculture, construction, energy, financial services, government, healthcare, retail, maritime, mining. Key capabilities: 24/7 technical support, API access, SD-WAN integration, emergency response capabilities, static IP addressing, terminal bonding, enterprise-grade security. The Canadian challenge. Canada presents a unique connectivity challenge. It's the world's second-largest country by land area, yet 90% of its population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border. That leaves millions of square miles containing crucial mining operations, oil sands projects, indigenous communities, and resource extraction sites essentially unreachable by traditional internet. This is the frontier where Canadian resellers have become masters of their craft. EnerStar Solutions, energy sector specialists. Michael runs safety operations for an oil and gas company with sites scattered across Alberta and Saskatchewan. Some are permanent facilities. Others are exploration sites that exist for months then move. Each site needs reliable connectivity for safety monitoring systems, equipment telemetry, and, crucially, communications that can summon help if something goes wrong. EnerStar Solutions, based in Medicine Hat, Alberta, built their business around exactly this challenge. They don't just install Starlink terminals. They create mobile connectivity solutions. Terminals arrive pre-configured, mounting systems designed for rapid deployment, and power systems that integrate with existing site infrastructure. When an H2S gas leak occurred at one of Michael's sites, the safety monitoring system connected via Starlink through EnerStar immediately alerted emergency services and shut down equipment. The response team arrived within minutes, guided by real-time video from site cameras. EnerStar's 24/7 operations center monitored the entire incident, ensuring connectivity never faltered during the crisis. That's not just internet service. That's lives saved through thoughtful integration of technology and human expertise. Industries served: oil and gas, emergency response, land mobility operations. Key capabilities: 24/7 support, installation for mobile and temporary sites, network management, remote site expertise, frontier networks, retail connectivity experts. Now shift to Maria, who manages IT for a quick-service restaurant chain expanding across Ontario and Quebec. Her challenge is scale: 200 locations, most in small towns where internet options are limited or expensive. Each location needs reliable connectivity for point-of-sale systems, kitchen display systems, inventory management, and customer Wi-Fi. And when something breaks, she needs someone on-site fast. Not next week, not tomorrow, but within hours. Frontier Networks, headquartered in Toronto, specializes in exactly this multi-location retail challenge. They maintain installation teams across Canada, pre-stage equipment, and most importantly, they understand that a restaurant losing internet connectivity loses revenue by the minute. When a major ice storm knocked out power across southern Ontario, Frontier's teams were already mobilizing. They arrived at Maria's locations with generators, tested backup systems, and had every site online before the lunch rush. Their monitoring platform had predicted which locations were at risk based on weather patterns, allowing proactive response rather than reactive crisis management. Industries served: national retail chains, franchise operations, quick-service restaurants, convenience stores. Key capabilities: rapid deployment, on-site support, SD-WAN integration, multi-location management, 24/7 monitoring. iTel Networks, the mining connectivity specialists. Deep in British Columbia's interior, Tom manages a copper mine. His operation runs 24/7, coordinating hundreds of workers, massive equipment, environmental monitoring systems, and complex logistics. The mine is 80 miles from the nearest town, in a valley where cell coverage doesn't exist and running fiber would cost millions. iTel Networks, based in Kamloops, British Columbia, treats mining connectivity as mission-critical infrastructure. They don't just provide internet. They architect failover systems where Starlink primary connections automatically switch to backup GEO satellite if needed. They implement SD-WAN that prioritizes safety systems over administrative traffic. They provide monitoring platforms that alert management if connectivity degrades before it impacts operations. When a rockslide damaged the access road, isolating the mine for 3 days, iTel's connectivity kept everything running. Video consultations with equipment manufacturers. Real-time or grade analysis. Weather monitoring that predicted when helicopter evacuation might be needed. Supply chain coordination that ensured no operational impact. Tom's mine didn't just survive the incident. Production actually increased because management could coordinate more effectively than with the unreliable connections they'd previously endured. Industries served: mining, energy, government, retail, banking. Key capabilities: managed services, failover solutions, SD-WAN, 24/7 support, performance monitoring, mission-critical reliability. The Mexican opportunity. Mexico's geography creates both challenge and opportunity. Tourist destinations boast world-class infrastructure. Major cities have excellent connectivity. But venture into mining regions, agricultural areas, or coastal fishing communities, and connectivity becomes scarce. Yet these are precisely the areas driving economic growth and they need internet infrastructure that traditional providers struggle to deliver economically. Mexican resellers have emerged as specialists in bridging these divides, bringing enterprise-grade connectivity to locations that previously had no viable options. Globalsat Mexico, mining and energy experts. Carlos oversees mining operations for a company with projects across northern Mexico. His sites are remote by necessity. Minerals exist where they exist, not where infrastructure exists. Traditional internet options meant expensive VSAT systems with high latency, limited bandwidth, and connectivity that struggled during monsoon season. Globalsat Mexico, operating from Tijuana, specializes in exactly these challenging deployments. They understand Mexican mining regulations, work with customs to expedite equipment, and maintain technicians familiar with the unique challenges of installations in remote desert and mountain environments. When Carlos needed to deploy video monitoring systems across 7 sites for safety compliance, Globalsat didn't just install terminals. They architected a complete solution, performance monitoring that detected issues before they impacted operations, bandwidth management that ensured safety systems always had priority, 24/7 support from Spanish-speaking engineers who understood both the technology and the mining industry. The result transformed Carlos's operations. Real-time equipment monitoring reduced downtime. Video training systems improved safety. Management could visit sites virtually, reducing travel costs and environmental impact. What started as an internet connectivity project became a digital transformation. Industries served: mining, oil and gas, renewable energy projects. Key capabilities: performance monitoring platforms, industrial installation expertise, 24/7 support, customs and regulatory navigation. Apco networks, enterprise solutions across Latin America. Shift to Patricia, who manages telecommunications for a Mexican government agency with offices throughout the country. Her challenge is standardization. Hundreds of locations, each with different connectivity solutions cobbled together over years. Some have fiber, some have wireless, some have nothing reliable. She needs unified management, consistent billing, and guaranteed service levels across this patchwork. Apco Networks, headquartered in Mexico City, specializes in enterprise solutions that bring order to chaos. They assessed every location, designed a hybrid network using fiber where available and Starlink where needed, and implemented SD-WAN that made the underlying connectivity invisible to users. Everyone gets the same experience whether they're in Mexico City or a remote border station. The real value emerged during a crisis. When a hurricane devastated coastal infrastructure, Patricia's agency maintained operations because Starlink terminals in affected areas became the primary connection while crews rebuilt terrestrial networks. Her disaster response teams could coordinate effectively. Emergency services maintained communication with the capital, and citizens could access government services despite the devastation around them. Industries served: government, enterprise, telecommunications. Key capabilities: performance monitoring, 24/7 support, custom billing, bonded solutions, disaster recovery planning. TRANSCOM, mobility and transportation specialists. Meet Roberto, who manages fleet communications for a logistics company operating across Mexico and Central America. His trucks travel thousands of miles weekly, often through areas with no cell coverage. He needs real-time tracking, driver communication, electronic logging, and increasingly, in-cab connectivity that allows drivers to stay in touch with families during long hauls. TRANSCOM, based in Mexico City, built their business around mobility solutions. They install Starlink terminals designed for vehicle mounting, integrate them with existing fleet management systems, and provide coverage that follows vehicles wherever they travel. When a truck crosses from Mexico into Guatemala, connectivity continues seamlessly. The safety implications are profound. When one of Roberto's drivers encountered an accident on a remote highway, his truck's Starlink connection allowed him to video call emergency services, transmit exact GPS coordinates, and provide real-time updates until help arrived. The system that started as a fleet management tool became a safety lifeline. Industries served: transportation, logistics, passenger services, cargo operations, public transit. Key capabilities: mobile connectivity solutions, digital platform integration, cybersecurity, fleet management integration, cross-border operations. Understanding your true needs. If you've followed this narrative, you've noticed a pattern. The resellers who succeed aren't those with the cheapest prices or fastest installations. They're the ones who understand their clients' true needs. Sarah needed enterprise-scale deployment with zero downtime tolerance. Marcus needed hybrid solutions that blended multiple connectivity types. Jack needed Arctic expertise and logistics. Jennifer needed government-grade security and disaster response capability. Michael needed energy sector understanding and mobile solutions. Maria needed multi-location expertise and rapid response. Tom needed mining-specific reliability. Carlos needed industrial deployment expertise. Patricia needed enterprise standardization. Roberto needed mobility solutions. The technology, Starlink satellites, was identical in every case. The difference was the expertise, integration, and support wrapped around that technology. The framework: 5 questions to guide your choice. Question 1. What industry do you operate in? Industry expertise matters more than you might think. A reseller who excels at retail deployments may struggle with maritime installations. Someone brilliant at mining connectivity might not understand healthcare compliance requirements. Look for resellers who list your industry specifically. Review their case studies. Ask for references from similar operations. The right partner should immediately understand your challenges without lengthy explanations. Question 2. What's your geographic footprint? A business with 5 locations in one city needs different support than one with 500 sites across 3 countries. Consider not just where you are now, but where you're growing. Resellers with national or international coverage can provide consistent service across locations. Regional specialists might offer better local expertise and faster response times. The key is matching their coverage to your footprint. Question 3. What's your technical complexity? Are you simply replacing existing internet or integrating Starlink into complex existing infrastructure? Do you need SD-WAN, bonded connections, integration with MPLS networks, cybersecurity, IoT device management? Some resellers excel at straightforward installations. Others specialize in complex network architectures. Be honest about your technical requirements and choose partners with proven expertise in similar complexity. Question 4. What support do you really need? Support sounds simple until you need it. Consider these scenarios. It's 2 a.m. Your terminal fails. Do you need someone to answer the phone? Installation day arrives. Does a technician come, or do you receive a box with instructions? Performance degrades. Do you wait for you to notice, or does monitoring alert both you and the reseller? Equipment fails. Is a replacement shipped, or is someone on site with spare hardware? Map these scenarios to your operations. If downtime costs thousands per hour, invest in premium support. If internet is convenient but not critical, basic support may suffice. Question 5. How does this fit your business model? Financial structure matters. Some businesses prefer to purchase equipment outright. Others want leasing arrangements that preserve capital. Some need consolidated billing across hundreds of sites. Others want per-site invoicing that matches their internal accounting. Consider also your contract flexibility. Are you deploying for the long term, or is this a temporary project? Do you need the ability to scale up and down quickly, or is this a fixed deployment? The value beyond connectivity. The transformation story. Let's return to where we started. That oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, the mine in the Canadian Rockies, the agricultural operation in Mexico. What changed when they gained reliable connectivity? The oil rig didn't just get internet. They gained real-time equipment monitoring that predicted failures before they happened, reducing downtime by 40%. They implemented remote expert consultations that solved problems in hours instead of waiting days for specialists to arrive by helicopter. Workers video called families, improving morale and retention in an industry struggling with turnover. The mine didn't just get connectivity. They deployed autonomous equipment that operates more safely and efficiently than human operators in dangerous conditions. They implemented real-time or analysis that optimized processing. They created digital twins of operations that allowed engineers worldwide to collaborate on improvements. Revenue increased by 15% while safety incidents decreased by 60%. The agricultural operation didn't just get internet. They deployed IoT sensors across thousands of acres, monitoring soil moisture, pest activity, and crop health in real time. They used satellite imagery combined with ground sensors to apply water and fertilizer precisely where needed, reducing costs by 30% while improving yields by 20%. They connected directly to commodity markets, timing sales for maximum profit. Beyond return on investment. But the real transformation runs deeper than financial returns. Consider these ripple effects. The emergency responder who coordinates disaster relief, saving lives because information flows freely. The student in a remote community who accesses world-class educational resources. The indigenous community that preserves cultural traditions through connected archives while participating in the modern economy. The scientist who monitors climate change in real time from Arctic research stations. The family separated by distance who stays connected through video calls. This is the true promise of ubiquitous connectivity. Not just faster business processes, but expanded human potential. We've traveled from Alaska to Mexico, from oil rigs to hospital networks, from mining operations to retail chains. We've met Sarahs and Michaels and Jacks, each facing unique connectivity challenges, each finding solutions through specialized reseller partners. Perhaps you see yourself in these stories. Perhaps you're facing similar challenges. Operations beyond traditional infrastructure, locations that don't appear on most connectivity maps, needs that standard solutions don't address. If so, understand this: the technology exists. The satellites orbit overhead right now, providing coverage across virtually all of North America. The authorized reseller network stands ready to transform that technological capability into practical solutions for your specific situation. Your next chapter begins with a simple step: identifying which reseller aligns with your needs. Use the framework we've discussed. Consider your industry, your geography, your technical requirements, your support needs, your business model. Then reach out. Have real conversations. Ask hard questions. Request references. Understand not just what they sell, but how they solve problems. Because at the end of the day, you're not buying satellite internet. You're buying partnership with experts who will help you overcome isolation, embrace opportunity, and connect to the possibilities that exist when barriers fall and communication flows freely. The satellites are overhead. The technology works. The resellers stand ready. The only question that remains is, what will you do with this connection? Quick reference guide. United States resellers at a glance. For enterprise multi-location deployments, CommandLink in Seattle, Washington offers sophisticated monitoring, bonding, and 24/7 support. Comcast Business in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania provides hybrid fiber satellite solutions. Granite Telecommunications in Quincy, Massachusetts specializes in multi-carrier aggregation and consolidated billing. Verizon in Basking Ridge, New Jersey brings global reach and government capabilities. MetTel in New York delivers managed services and turnkey solutions for remote and extreme environments. Pacific Dataport in Anchorage, Alaska is an Alaska specialist with extreme weather expertise. GCI Communication Corp, also in Anchorage, focuses on Alaska and Western Canada. For retail and multi-site operations, SageNet in Tulsa, Oklahoma specializes in retail and QSR. Frontier Networks in Toronto, Ontario serves U.S. multi-location operations. Canadian resellers at a glance. For energy and industrial, EnerStar Solutions in Medicine Hat, Alberta serves oil, gas, and energy sectors. ITIL Networks in Kamloops, British Columbia focuses on mining, government, and banking. For retail and franchise, Frontier Networks in Toronto, Ontario handles national retail chains and QSR. Convergia in Montreal, Quebec offers Pan-American coverage. Mexican resellers at a glance. For mining and energy, Globalsat Mexico in Tijuana provides industrial installations and monitoring platforms. Elipgo technology in Mexico City serves oil, gas, and utilities. For enterprise and government, Apco Networks in Mexico City specializes in government and telecommunications. Tangerine Electronics, also in Mexico City, focuses on public connectivity and retail. For transportation and logistics, TRANSCOM in Mexico City offers mobile solutions and cross-border operations. Ubix Next Telecom in Monterrey serves manufacturing, transport, and retail. Contact Protocol, making effective inquiries. When reaching out to resellers, provide location specifics with exact addresses or GPS coordinates. Use case description explaining what you're trying to accomplish. Current connectivity situation detailing what you have now and what's not working. Timeline requirements for when you need this operational. Scale and scope including number of sites and expected usage. Technical environment describing existing systems that need integration. Budget parameters with rough budget range and financial preferences. Support expectations outlining your requirements for ongoing support. This information allows resellers to provide accurate proposals rather than generic quotes. Final note: this guide is current as of December 2025. The Starlink reseller network continues to evolve. Always verify current authorization status at starlink.com/resellers before engaging any reseller. For purchases, never work with unauthorized resellers. Service purchased through unauthorized channels may be suspended without refund, and you'll have no recourse for support or service issues. Choose authorized partners. Build real relationships. Transform your connectivity. Your story starts now.